Wes Streeting, the shadow health secretary, who's likely to be the next health secretary. Well, he says, well, in fact, he stakes his life on it, he does, yeah, that the NHS will not be privatised under a Labour government. But the consequences of his plans will pretty much mean that will be inevitable privatisation of the NHS. Through the back door, basically. We're already seeing it already with Palantir and what have you. If ever data's been sold to the United States, for God's sake, not much of a fuss got kicked up about that, did it? No. Well, currently we are in a bit of a bad state regarding doctors, nurses. We're about 40,000 down on nurses, 59,000 down on doctors, and God knows how many more flippin' dentists we need. Well, and as such, we're important. We were importing something from the EU, but then we got Brexit, which pretty much screwed everything up. It threw all the cards up in the air and they're just landing wherever they want to land. Well, you see, we're now forced to employ doctors and nurses from places like Nigeria, in Africa and some Asian countries as well. And that is having an adverse effect on the NHS, and also is riling up the racists, the fascists, the bigots, and the Reform Party. As to be said, they are pretty much racist, aren't they? Definitely bigoted. Look at Richard Tice, he wants to drown them. Yeah, he's quite happy for Ben Habib to say, oh, let's drown the little people in the little boats. Make excuses for him. What have we become? But you see, the thing is, if we do go along with Wes Streeting's plan to hand over more of the waiting list to the private sector, the private sector is not going to, as Wes Streeting says, they've got capacity in the private sector. They're not all of a sudden going to say, oh, okay, we'll just take up all that capacity. The reason they've got capacity is because they provide a private health service. And it has to be a good service. A service that works, not a broken service. You can't take up the capacity and expect it to work in the same or as efficiently as it does currently, where people actually get seen and treated, like Spire Hospital and what have you in Cambridge. No. So they will be forced to employ more doctors and nurses. And where are they going to come from? They're going to be coming from the NHS. Put more strain on the NHS, making us more dependent on the private sector. And when Wes Streeting was... Oh, this was on the Lewis Goodall show on... He's filling in for James O'Brien on LBC Radio. And when he was being asked questions by the public, you know, phoning and all that, he was all mealy-mouthed and, quite frankly, arrogant at the same time. Flippin' hell, what the hell? When doctors, nurses are phoning in, explaining their point of view. It was like he's just trying to shoot them down in flames. It was... Sorry, they know more about their job than he does. What's Labour playing at? This doesn't make any sense. We should be investing in training our own people. And if, for instance, there is a problem within the NHS because we haven't got enough doctors and nurses and what have you, maybe we need to bring more in from abroad to fill the gap. We're losing our doctors and nurses in the NHS to the private sector and abroad. Left, right and centre, so many of them contemplating those junior doctors that feel that they've been, well, shortchanged, and they have. They've been shortchanged. They're always trying to make out, oh, they want 36% pay rises and stuff. No, they've been shortchanged 36% since we had a Tory government. So many of them don't want to actually work in the NHS. They're going to go away. They're going to go abroad. So Wes Streeting saying we employ more, more public service with private companies. It doesn't work. A private company has shareholders, or your public limited company, whatever it might be, it has shareholders. And those shareholders want a return on their money. And that is money for nothing other than handing some money over in the first place, which is used to actually build the business up in the first place, invest in the business in the first place. That's a business investment. It's not an investment that should be pretty much paid for with public money. It beggars belief. How anyone actually, if you've got a government-run institution that's not working, that's because you've got the wrong people in there. Plain and simple. If a private company can make it financially viable so they can hand money over to shareholders, so can the government. Because to get right people in to do the job. We've seen it in the flipping water companies in the past, and they got privatised, and now look at it. The rail service, the government screwed that up. You had the wrong people in charge. You had the wrong people. You are only as good as the people you put around you. And that's fact. Any businessman knows that. Anyone in business. I knew that. I employed only 13 people working for me. And I know I was only as good. The service that I provided to my customers was only as good as the people I put around me. Period. Get the best people and you will have the best, service. Whether it be in the NHS, the water company, the water authorities or whatever. Rail networks, the energy, you name it. It's plain and simple. Wherever shareholders are involved, that's profits that could be put back into the service. Investment into the infrastructure. Plain and simple. Wes Streeting is wrong. We do not need more privatisation. We need more investment. And if that means we need to borrow more money to make that work, you would hope that that would be an investment which makes more money. It also will save money. At the moment, all we're doing is just hand out wads of cash to private companies so they can offshore in the Cayman Islands, Panama somewhere. Oh, it's painful. I don't know, I'm just getting lost for words with all this, and I'm just losing faith in it all. I really am. I lose faith in obviously the Tory party, well, they're just right shy of. and the Labour Party, I'm just dismayed. Why can't we just fill them with a load of Caroline Lucases or something instead? What's their chance then? The Greens. So anyway, you tell me what you think. Do you think Wes Streeting is right, or is it's just politics? It's dishonesty. That's what it is. We have to also ask ourselves. Leave this in the comments down below. How do you feel about the Labour Party that was built on the basis of unionism? The unions. That's why we had the Labour Party. And Clem Attlee and all that. Unionism. Which is there for workers' rights and stuff, Look after the people. Ordinary folk. Us down at the bottom, us plebs. And now the Labour Party gets more funding now from the private sector. What does that tell you? Very disappointing. Yet I'm still going to be voting Labour because they're not the right-wing Tories. Oh, it's painful. Sometimes I just feel I just don't want to vote, But then you just hand the vote to whoever, aren't you? To the Tories. Or Reform Party. Oh, I don't know. You tell me. What should I do? Toodaloo.